Hi everyone. So I've been trying to review iPad for quite some time. I know this video is about M4 iPad Pro, but I'm talking about the iPad in general. I think the iPads are widely misunderstood, especially the Pro version. I feel it was never about a replacement of a gadget. Definitely not for a laptop replacement in my opinion, no matter what Apple says.
What's a computer?
I said this in my first iPad video in 2020 and I say it again. iPad is a luxury item for many people. It can do a lot of things that phone can do. It can do a lot of things a Mac can do. It complements the ecosystem. It helps the creators when it comes to portability. It helps students with studies. It helps artists with creativity. And it is more than a glorified media consumption tool. Just because you don't know how to use it does not mean it is a useless device. When I first got my iPad, I honestly didn't know what to do with it. Sure, it is always going to be a great media device, but there are a lot of cheaper alternatives out there. But the question remains the same. Why iPad? Because no matter when you upgrade, it is always going to be this is like an overpowered machine which you can barely use, right? I recently upgraded my iPad from M1 to M4, and part of me thought that I bought basically the same machine again. The more I used the machine, the more I realized I never used my iPad to its full potential. But that's on me. And if I'm being really honest, if I didn't have my Magic Keyboard, I would have used it very less than I actually do right now. But I started using it for writing script, watching content while tweeting when there's a launch event, and take it with me when I'm traveling to my hometown or even if I'm going for a travel because I don't want to carry my laptop everywhere. Believe me or not, I love doing shopping on this iPad with my partner. This is something we really enjoy together. And when I sold my iPad in March because I was anticipating it to come in April, but it didn't, we really missed it. And so much so I stopped writing my script because I write my script on iPad and just going to a different room and get your heavy laptop to do those things, like it was just lazy for me. So I really missed my iPad. Long story short, it is not that what this machine can do, it is about what you can do with it. And the more I use it, the more I realize this is the missing puzzle in my life that actually makes my life easier. I know a lot of people are going to ask me why not iPad Air, why spend on Pro? When I got my first iPad Pro, there was no Air version with USB-C. Then I wanted at least 128 GB storage. With iPad Air, you were just getting 64 or 256. 256 was close to the price of 128 Pro, so I went with that because of the promotion as well. And now we have OLED on this. So I never get to the point where I actually needed iPad Air, even if it is 128 GB right now. But now I think the OLED is more than enough for me to upgrade to the new one. Otherwise, my iPad Pro was doing really good. But now let's talk about this iPad Pro, shall we? I don't know why everyone is trying to sell the iPad as much as a thin machine. Did anyone ask it to be so thin? I mean, lighter, sure, but thin, do we really care about that? Anyway, if you go for an 11-inch model, you won't even notice the thinness or weight difference as much. Honestly, I don't even feel like there was an upgrade when it comes to how it looks. Sure, it is with the new space black color, but the keyboard looks exactly the same from outside. It attracts dust very easily. If you go for a white version, you will be scared in future that how it will get dirty, but with the black one somehow it feels dirty out of the box. The new OLED screen is the highlight of this iPad, and that was one of the reasons I got this too. But somehow I don't see the difference as much. Yes, you get those inky blacks, but honestly the LCD from 2018 iPad Pro was still really good. Don't get me wrong, it is an amazing display to look at. If you're thinking about buying a new iPad, sure, it's an amazing. But if you're thinking about upgrading your iPad, I would say go to a store, compare them side by side. That will give you a great idea. Because the only reason I think that you should upgrade is going to be the higher brightness. So if you work outdoor and take your iPad there, I would 100% recommend this iPad. But if you use it inside, like just like a media consumption device, I don't think you're going to notice a lot of difference. There was one more thing I wanted to mention. I don't have a problem with headache with when it comes to OLED screen because of that PWM flickering. But my friend said after getting the OLED iPad, he is facing that issue, like there are more headaches. So if you are sensitive to those OLED screen, I think this can be an issue. I don't have any reports to confirm that, but if you guys have any information about it, please let me know in the comment box. The other change is the new landscape camera. For some, it may not be the big upgrade, but for someone like me who takes a lot of call at night, I get very lazy to pick up my laptop. The portrait camera before was weird when you were looking at someone, like you're basically looking at left, but now I can start taking my video calls on my iPad again. I know people will say that M4 is an overkill for this iPad, but I disagree. You're thinking about right now, but think about 6 years down the line. Let's suppose you're talking about 2018 iPad Pro. It still performs great only because they put a great amount of power in that iPad. And the same can be said for this. For phones, you can upgrade those phones for multiple reasons. It's not always going to be about power, but it's like camera upgrades and sort of stuff. With iPad, you don't even use the camera. It's the power that makes the iPad the iPad. And I will make my long-term review after that iPad OS 18 will come and see what that brings to the table. Apart from that, this power can be useful for handful creators who use their iPad for media creation, or people who use apps like Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro on their iPad. I'm using DaVinci and found it slightly difficult to learn, but hey, it's free. And it is an amazing app. It can do almost everything you can do on a Mac if you invest some time on it. The base storage is also bumped to 256, and that should help. I am editing directly on my SSD, but you will still need to copy files sometimes if you're not using a hub on your iPad. Overall, it is a good upgrade in my opinion. Even the price increase doesn't seem as much if you're going for 256 GB anyway. Also, the other reason I upgraded because I didn't have a cellular version before. Now I wanted a 5G version because 5G is much cheaper in India right now. So that was one of the reason I wanted to upgrade my iPad anyway. But apart from that, even if you want to just upgrade it for OLED and M4 chip for the future, like if you are coming from a very older iPad, I think it's still a great upgrade. I feel like the new Magic Keyboard is also a great upgrade over its predecessor. The trackpad is bigger and better with proper haptic feedback. The new keyboard feels quite comfortable to type on, and I only realized it after using the old one side by side. The new USB port moves when you open the lid, and pass-through charging cable is much faster now. The new function row is really useful, although I'm still getting used to it. But Apple being Apple, if you want to use this keyboard, you have to purchase the new iPad Pro. In the same case with the new pencil as well. I got this pencil, so I thought I might be able to use it with my partner. She has iPad mini, but no, this is only going to work with the new iPad. Yes, there are a lot of benefits to this pencil as well with that pinch feature, also with the barrel movement, but I think I'm not a great person to tell you about that because I'm not an artist. I can barely draw anything. See, I'm not gonna stretch this video. I know iPad is still going to be iPad. It is boring, but it is amazing. So I think it totally depends upon how you use it. It is never going to replace my work laptop. I'm a developer. There are a lot of things I do on my work laptop. But I think for my personal laptop, I can definitely replace that with this one. I know the editing and something will be slightly more difficult, but this is easier to carry. I also have a cellular functionality on it. It's how you look at it, in my opinion. So yeah, even though there are not a lot of changes, I still think it's a very useful machine if you know how to use it. Do let me know if you have any questions about it. My name is Rohit. I'll see you next one. Till then.